What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? So excited to have Miss Barbra Portzline with us today, who I'll tell a little story later, but I just want to introduce her and then I'll get into the why Miss Barbra is amazing. So Barbra is the president at Organizational Rebel LLC. She's the co-developer of the P6 assessment and the creator of Sherot Oracle Cards. Her clients have achieved such results at launching signature programs, turning side hustles into profitable businesses, increasing long-term revenue over 30%, successfully launching product lines, and transition from nearly shutting down their business to becoming profitable. Additionally, she's determined return on investments for her corporate clients and saved corporations hundreds of thousands of dollars. After realizing her psychic and intuitive gifts, Barbra now incorporates a combination of her extensive organizational development experience and her gift of intuition to help clients generate more leads, convert them to clients for life, and action their sole purpose into sustainable company aligned with their vision. Her work supports a cross-discipline integrated approach to strategy, which is like no other. Welcome, Miss Barbra, to the podcast.
Oh my gosh, Barbra, okay. So first of all, that was all nice and pretty, but I know you as Dr. Barbra because you are, right? You have a PhD. You've helped many people with your intuitive gifts, especially when it comes revolving around their business and how to get into alignment. How the heck did you make it all work? Because I know you have vast corporate experience, corporate training experience, individual entrepreneurship, all the things. How did it come to the point where you are, before the panorama, every single year guiding entrepreneurs on a beach in Maui? Fill us in.
I was born amazing. That's the only way it worked, man. I literally came out of the womb and I'm like, let me organize all this stuff and get it together. No, it's such a loaded question. I have no flipping clue. I've gone through so many iterations in who I am as a person, who I am as a business owner, what I do. It has gone through so much. And God, I don't even know how to say it. It really is about intention and action. I guess those are the biggest pieces for me. So you can have all the intention in the world. You can say your mantras and you can do your affirmations and say, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a trillionaire. I'm going to make $1 million happen. And literally the three of us could sit here and try to manifest $1 million and nothing's going to flip and happen. And you could also take a ton of action like I did for so many years where you're throwing spaghetti against the wall, just praying something would stick, and it doesn't work either. So I think the piece for me is when I learned how to meld being both intentional and taking action to get to my goals. That is the number one thing. And that's the number one thing I teach my clients, right? Like I always say, intention and action makes magic in your business. So you need both of them. And for so long, I did not have that.
I love that. That's exactly the answer that I wanted you to give because
I don't have the questions. I don't have the questions. I have nothing prepared. So go ahead.
Yeah. No, because I know that you've helped lots of different entrepreneurs in lots of different industries, really become focused and intentional about how they're going to build their business, not just doing whatever the latest guru says to do, but actually practical converting steps for them to be successful. And I think that is what's missing out here a lot. And so it's always refreshing to find someone who does it on a regular basis, and not just for herself, but also helping other people and impacting lots of people while doing it. So that's what I was getting around to.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's funny that you said that, because one of the things I always say is just because you have the severe haircut and the really nice suit and you look great on social media doesn't mean that you're actually doing well. And there are so many people out there that literally they have this look, right? And I tell people look sloppy, man. Like have your hair all fuzzy and everything, because people are not going to trust you if you look like a freaking Barbie doll. It's like you have to be able to connect and you have to get real results. Otherwise, you're full of crap. And so there
It's
are a lot
okay
of
to say
people.
shit on this podcast. It's
Oh,
okay
yeah, I
to say
forgot.
shit.
I forgot. I
It's
almost didn't
Elaine.
I thought you were so prim and proper. Like I know you didn't write a book with a curse in it or anything. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's okay to be a shit show, and as long as you give results, right?
Mhm.
So like, if you're too perfect, if I see someone with that headshot on Facebook, like here's my Facebook ad, here's my course, I'm gonna make you a millionaire. Like all right away, my eyes roll all the way up into my head, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, because they're
Right.
fake. They don't know
Yeah.
what it's like. I know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and not have a freaking penny to my name. I know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and say, I don't know how I'm going to get all the things my kids want. I know what it's like to feel like you're completely broken and you have no way to get out of it. And I will tell you, for me, like, there's no regrets. Like, I believe, and this is, part of my mission is to tell people you can rewrite your story at any time. You
Mhm.
can rewrite that damn story. So if you want that life by design, not by default, then freaking write it. Like put on your big girl pants and write it, because I did it and I don't live in that old story. And I think that's a piece with a lot of folks that are trying to get ahead. They're still living in their victim story. And it's like, get over it. And then I don't say that in a mean way. Like I don't, everyone
Yeah.
has drama, but I mean like, don't stay in there if you really want to shift things.
Yeah, and I love that song Unwritten. That has been one of my favorite songs from many decades ago. And I love that there was a resurgence of the song on TikTok by Natasha Bedingfield. I love that people were bringing that up and really listening to the words. And I really feel like, Elaine and I talk about this all the time. I really feel like Gen Z and Gen Alpha really believe that. Like, okay, so I fell down, I can get back up and do something else. Right. And, boomers and X and Y are just kind of like, but wait a minute, that's in your pants, that happened to you. What, and the Gen Zs are like, bump it. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to do the next thing. And it's a hard transition for the generations to understand that. It's like, dust yourself off, get it together, grab another marker and write a new story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I love that. I love grabbing a marker too, man. I was gonna say chalk, but a marker is totally cool. Like one of the scented ones. Oh, or scented is what I was thinking. I was thinking you just take that marker, sniff that box, and get your shit together, right?
They make markers that have color, have a scent to them. I think it's kind of dangerous.
I know.
Oh, those have been around forever, honey.
I know, but I'm just saying they're dangerous.
Oh, they are kind of cute. I mean, I love like the cherry one and the grape one, but
yeah,
I digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elaine.
Okay.
So one of the things when, Miss Barbara first, my first major like convo with you that totally changed everything for me, I will never forget it, and I tell everybody about it, is I didn't realize, you have intuitive gifts. And then I learned because of you that I also kind of have them, and I didn't really understand what they were and how to use them until you used them on me and completely changed everything in my business. At the time I was doing photography and I felt like something was missing, but I didn't really know what it was. And then I remember it was like a Sunday and we were like trying to coordinate calendars when we could talk. And you're like, fuck it, let's just talk right now. I'm like, cool. And we literally was like, I have time right now. Okay, so do I. Okay, let's just talk right now. And you challenged me to when I was like, but I'm not a coach. I don't have, and you're like, who the hell says you have to be certified? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, isn't that a thing? Don't you have to have fancy degrees and shit in order to do certain things? And you're like, no. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that I could do bigger and better and serve my clients in a whole complete unique different way. It was the thing that I needed to set myself apart in my business. And how do you stand out when everybody else is doing the same thing you are? You have to figure out a way to stand out. And having that conversation with you led to me discovering that I had this unique gift that I didn't really know was there, which is how I got the nickname Elaine the Brain. And this download of information that I don't even know what that, like, what is happening. I don't understand what's happening. But then turning that into something that allowed me to help other people. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, Barbara just changed, you just rocked my world. And I will never, ever forget it. I will never, ever forget how you helped me help other people. Right?
Aw.
That's literally what you did. You helped me help other people. And yeah, it was just like,
So
it was
did I scare you? Because so I have a tendency to do this, right? Like I'm not one that likes unsolicited advice. So if someone like sends me a message and they're like, I got to talk to you. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are and I don't want to hear it. Like only a few people can give me unsolicited advice. And I am the queen of going to people that I don't even know. And I'm like, if you want to jump on a call, I'm more than happy to, because I literally have a message for them. Like, so it's gotten so crazy since I talked to you. Now, like, I'll have a Facebook friend who's, not, or I mean, not someone that I know in person, and I'll see a post and I'll send them a message. Like, I'll literally be like, no, Spirit, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm busy. I have a company to run. No, Spirit, I don't. And it's like, you got to keep thinking about them until you send them a message. And I literally send a message. I'm like, I think I can help you. Do you want to jump on a call? And then I get on the call and I literally have no idea why I'm talking to this person. They have no idea why I'm talking to them. And then all of a sudden something like that happens. And it's actually really fun. Like it jazzes, like I get really excited about it. And then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And at the same time, I think one of the pieces is, and I do believe everyone's intuitive. So I want to also talk about that. But one of the pieces is when you tap into your intuition and you're really aligned and you have confidence in what is being told to you, you just go with it. And I am one of those, like, stuff just flows through me. I'll be like, hey, Paige, I have a message from your grandmother. And it's like, how did you know I was thinking about your grandmother? And it's like, my grandmother. And it's like, I don't know, but she has a message for you. Like, I would never say that. Or even like, I see cute boys now, right? Like, so.
Oh my gosh, let me just stop you because today is my grandmother's birthday.
I know. And I literally said that on purpose. I was looking, I felt that. So I just, yeah, sorry. I didn't know it was her birthday, but literally I had chills and I had to say something about your grandmother because I was looking at whatever that fluffy thing is behind you. I don't know what it is. It looks like a weeping willow, like cotton or something. And I want to pull at it. And literally it was like grandmother, like there was something about grandmother. So yeah, happy birthday. So, but this is what happens, right? Like, so I do this all the time. I can't help it. And, but what's fun is what I was going to say. What's fun is, I'm 51 now, right? So like, I will go up to like cute boys that I would never, like before, I'd be like, oh my God, you're absolutely adorable. Like I have no filter anymore. I'll be like, you're so funny and you're so cute. You're adorable. I love you. And it's like, when I was 27, there's no way in hell I would say that to a guy. I'd be like, oh, play cool. And now it's like, Spirit is just like, say whatever you want to say. It's all good. They need to hear it. So like, it comes out all the time. I'll be with my husband. He's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm not flirting. Like, not really, but I'm just telling him how cute he is. And I have no qualms doing it. Like, it just happens. So yeah, I think that's, and I do believe that everyone has that. So it's part of it is trust and confidence. So when the messages come, can you just say them and not care if people look at you like you're crazy?
Yeah.
And I think I actually think that is how we met, Barbara. Just like
this is your life, Barbara. I didn't know that.
This is your life. That's the show today.
Be like a podcast that y'all were doing. I didn't think it was like the Candid Camera or This Is Your Life.
Yeah, no, but I think it was something. It wasn't as kooky as that, but it was just something that you and I just instantly clicked in a line, like in a buffet line or something. And then next thing I know, I'm in, Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're driving me around and, picking me up from the airport, and we're having great days and dinners and all that kind of stuff. And so what I want to say is that you are always so giving. And, a lot of times when people are intuitive or they have those gifts, they're always giving and giving and giving. So I would love for you to share with our listeners how you actually, one, protect yourself, and two, replenish, if you could.
Wow. Those are good questions. Gosh. All right. So where do I want to go with this one? Um, for many years, and I, I'm also one of those, like, whatever needs to be said needs to be said. So for many years, the way I protected myself was actually by gaining weight. And I know that wasn't really where we thought we were going to go with this. And it's also something that obviously needs to be said. So um, when I was younger, and this is before I realized I had intuitive and spiritual gifts, and I had a lot of trauma drama, just like many other people. And I alluded to that already. And so, like, I always had, like, really good energy. Like, I kind of glow. And so I'm good with, like, even when I'm cranky or tired, I kind of glow and I have good energy, and I always was able to attract people to me. um and one of the things I did to protect myself, because people always wanted something from me, and it, when you have gone through different things, you realize, like, the people that are around you are not always around that are in your highest and best interest. And so I would attract, like, everybody, like, from weird people to abusive people to using people and nice people too, but someone always wanted something from me. And so what I had done for many years is I actually gained quite a bit of weight as a way to protect myself. And I joke about it now. I'm like, I can flirt with that 27-year-old, and I can attract people regardless if I'm 200 pounds or 100 pounds. But I, like, don't want to get too skinny. I always say now, like, I don't want to get too skinny because I'm too damn hot. Like, if I'm too hot, even more people will come near me. And I say that in jest, and the underlying piece is I did that as a protection. I wanted to not look as good and not be as fit and not be as happy and all of these things, because I didn't know how to set those boundaries. Fast forward a gazillion years. I said I'm 51. When I was 44, I went through an enormous, a deep, dark part of my life, as I had before. And at that point, I really didn't know if I wanted to go on. Like, it was one of those where I was literally sitting on the floor just saying, like, woe is me. And then, of course, I don't live in that. And, at that time I was like, woe is me. Everything's miserable. My life's in shambles. I'm in shambles. And I made a decision that I needed to change my network, change the people that were around me. And at that time, I had reached out. I had kept seeing this thing for that group, Polka Dot Powerhouse. I know y'all are familiar with it. And I was like, what the hell is this? It's like, join us, join us. And it's like, I don't know what the hell that is. And then I see polka dots and women in pink and orange. And I'm like, I don't even like those colors. Like, and then it's like, surround yourself with positive, action oriented people. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I kept seeing it. I was like, I'm a call. I'm positive. I'm action oriented. Meanwhile, I was a mess. And I started that group, and now I'm trying to think, what the hell was the question you asked? But I started that group. Oh yeah, how do I protect myself? There were two questions in one, so I can only focus on one at a time.
That's okay. The second part was, how do you replenish now?
Okay.
How do you replenish
So
yourself?
I joined that group, and at that time, all of the people that were, like, in my chapter were all like these woo woo people. And I gotta say, like, I grew up in New York in, like, this very I don't know what to say about it. I grew up in this bubble, and basically anyone that went outside was granola. Anyone that did anything I didn't understand was, like, super woo woo freaky deaky. And, I was very left brain for a gazillion years until I had my spiritual awakening at 44. And so I was like, why the hell are all these, like, healers and massage therapists and acupuncturists? Why are they all joining my group? Like, they all want to fix me. And I'm like, I'm fine the way I am. And I realized I was one of them. And so I finally learned, and this goes into the answer to your question, long story, long explanation, but I finally learned that I didn't need to gain weight to protect myself. I needed to connect to myself to protect myself. And that was something that was very hard because, like Lane said, oh, I have a PhD and I went to school and I did all this stuff. And it was all about doing, and it wasn't about being. It wasn't about being aligned to really who I was at the core. And so at that time, I learned how to put myself first, how to have quiet time, because you can tell, like, once I start talking, I don't shut up. So, like, how to have quiet time, and how to let go of some of the control that I tried to hold on to for a long time. So now, today at 51-ish, when I need to replenish, it's usually because my mind is trying to figure stuff out that just needs to be let go. Like I have a lot of work right now, which, knock on wood, like I'm excited about it. And at the same time, instead of trying to figure out all the pieces, I literally take a step back. I grab my crystals, I lie in my bed, and I say, Spirit, God, universe, whatever, work this shit out for me and make it work. And I realize that that's all I need to do sometimes to replenish. Like, take it off of my flippin' plate and give it up to the universe to take care of. That was a long answer.
Wow. That's so, what a great answer for people,
Thank
though,
you.
is to be able to just realize when it's yours and when it's not yours. And when it's not yours, to be able to just say, this is not mine to carry. Right. And I am so guilty of taking on everybody's bullshit and trying to fix it, because I'm a fixer, and that it's not always mine to fix. Right. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. And it's a really good reminder that we have to not take on shit that is not ours and let someone else, like the universe or whatever, take care of it, because it's not ours and we're not in control of it.
Absolutely.
Mm,
I do that with my kids too. I've got a lot of stuff, family stuff, all of this. And it's like, I have to realize that, I can't work stuff out for everybody else, and I
yep.
can't let it impact me. I just have to,
Yeah.
take a step back and say, it's
Yeah.
it's going to work itself out. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know that, down in good old New Mexico, which I've never had the pleasure of visiting yet, but someday that will happen, right? Someday I'll come down and visit. So how, I know that you have this really big vision. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but I would love for you to share this big vision that you have for your community.
Sure. So my background's in clinical psychology, and then I do a lot of work in the business world. And every time I try to do stuff in business, the clinical psychology, helping people, whatever. I was going to say gnome. I have no idea why the word gnome is coming up, but gnome hits me over the head. It's like, nope, we're going to make you go back and, help humanity. And it's like, shit, I just want to get a nice car and a purse and like make a whole bunch of money and be happy and sit there. It's like, nope, shit, you're going to still help humanity. And I'm like, I guess I have a higher purpose. And so one of my visions, or my big vision at this time, is I have a child who identifies as transgender. And based on just the lack of resources and understanding and all of the stuff that I've seen, my vision is to, and it's three parts. So it's to grow my company right now, because that's what I'm doing, so I can fund the development of a residential treatment center that's gender affirming for middle school, high school kids in my community. Because in our searches for resources and things that were out there, there's a huge lack of resources. And luckily, I'm in a position that it didn't impact me the same way that it could impact other families. And I realized that, with this whole movement of people identifying as, and coming out and saying that they are different genders and all of these things, there aren't, and I have to be careful with my language because I still screw stuff up left and right, but there aren't appropriate facilities for someone that does not identify as one of the binary, male or female, for kiddos. So part of my vision is to grow my company so I can fund the development of something like this for our community.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that
Make
is,
me be like, I'm trying to just be like a spoiled bratty, this is all I want to do, sit with my piles of money, and you keep bringing it back to all that good stuff that I try to do too. I'm like, don't tell everyone, it's going to ruin my reputation, but it really is my heart. It's my heart.
it
Yeah.
it is so important to have those resources. So, you know, I have a little guy, he's in middle school now. He just started 6th grade last year, so he's going into 7th. And one other student from his school was accepted, you know, he got into the gifted and talented school, middle and high school. And he was the first day, I'm like, did you make any friends? Did you meet anyone? You know, and he's like, yeah, I met Bradley and, you know, Unique and Hill. And I was just like, Hill? I'm like, that's a unique name. He goes, Hill. Yeah, I met Hill. You know, we go way back. And I'm like, I've never heard that name a day in my life. Hill. And he said, yeah. She go, you know her as Charlotte. She goes by Hill now. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You know, and he's like, yeah, it was cool. I'm just going to call her they, them, because that's what she prefers. That's what Hill prefers. And I was like, okay. And he said, and you know, I'm in theater class and I have some folks in that class too. So I'm just going to stick to they, them, like for everybody. And I said, you know what? That is awesome, Robert, because I said to him, let Hill tell his story. You don't have to say, you know, that you've known Hill since 2nd grade and, you know, but what was so interesting to me was that it was such an easy conversation.
That's great.
There was none of the extra baggage that happens with life and opinions and all the other garbage. It was just, this is what I'm going to do and it's cool and that, you know, so it was just so refreshing to have that conversation. But it also frightened me that the children are so open, yet the adults are just not. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like they are living in, we're really living in 2 different worlds of acceptance. And that
they are teaching us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a, you know, it's such a amazing learning experience. Like it started off with me learning every flag. I didn't know there were like 1,000 flags, you know, learning every flag and learning the pronouns and learning things as they shift. And it's so, you know, I love hearing that kiddos that are younger are so open. For us, it was a little challenging because, you know, middle school, high school at that time was just it's a little bit harder. But that gives me hope, you know, that people are open and accepting and all of those pieces. So yeah, it's a learning experience for all of us for sure.
Plus, they are super talented artists. OMG. Like seriously.
Yeah.
It's just been really interesting. Just the shift, you know, LinkedIn recently launched the pronouns that you can add to your profile. So I was just like,
Instagram also, what's your pronouns? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I appreciate seeing it and making it accessible for the people that would like to be included in that. I guess that's how I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's just so, you know, I just think about all the people that, you know, Elaine and I come across them, you come across all the people who are just like all over the place, right? What would you say to our listeners would be like maybe 1 or 2 tips that could help them get refocused, get back on track, or, you know, like a step to move forward when it comes to coming in alignment with their business or figuring out what their signature program is? And I know you do, you know, you help people with their signature talk and speaking and stuff like that. Maybe you can just share a little bit about that for us.
So what I always recommend my clients to do is I recommend that they get like some kick-ass, really cool journal and they write their vision, which I call their organizational story. So I tell them, if your illogical, I say your logical mind, but it's really your illogical mind wasn't involved and you didn't have to think of the how, what do you really want to do? Like what, you know, how do you want to spend your day? Who do you want to work with? How much money do you want in your bank account? Who are you celebrating with when everything is going amazing? And I want you to write it out as if it was happening now. and really like detail it out. And actually, Elaine, you mentioned earlier about like my Hawaii. I do a lot of retreats in Hawaii, and that was part of the process. Like I wrote out, I didn't know what I wanted to do in Hawaii. I didn't know who I wanted to work with, but I knew that Hawaii, there's something about that place that I really wanted to be there. And so I had written out several years ago, that I'm in Hawaii with a group of people that I really admire. I'm helping them. I didn't know what it looked like. I woke up, I, drank some tea, I went to the ocean, I met with people, and like really writing it out. And then I had this vision of myself at the bar, because that's how I like to be at the bar, saying like drinks on me to the entire bar without not even thinking about what's in my bank account or caring, knowing that I could take care of it. And the feeling of peace with that and all of that. So I have people detail that all out as if it was happening now. And I call that the organizational story. Then I tell them to go back and get a shitty piece of paper and get, bubble bath, a bottle of wine if they need it. I tell them incense, and then I realized I was really dating myself. So now I changed it to essential oils.
Right.
No one
Exactly.
knows what incense is anymore.
I got incense, girl. Don't worry about it.
And then it's like, and I have them write out their crap story, and I call it their crap story. It's really like why they're not there yet. Whatever those beliefs are in their head, that they're not good enough, that they can't do it, that who the hell do they think they are? They have to work harder to make more money, that Hawaii, like only rich people go to Hawaii or whatever it is. And I have them write that all out. And like I said, if they need to cry it out, whatever it is. And then I ask them to sit and think, how can they get rid of that? How can they get rid of that story? And one of my clients burnt it on Facebook and did a video. Another one threw it into little pieces of paper. Like I have them ceremoniously get rid of it because it's not helping them anymore. And I did this myself, and I am not an activity person. Like, so someone's like, let's share. I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I made myself do this. And it makes it so real, because when you write out where you want to go and what you really want, then, the universe will help you figure out the how. But if you don't know where the hell you want to go, it's really hard to get there. Mm-hmm. And so I tell people to start there, to have focus. And I live my life with no regrets. So like, that's the other piece. I've made dumb decisions. I have involved myself with dumb people. I have, done things that like I wouldn't tell people about. Like, I mean, there's a lot of it. And at the same time, like I literally live with no regrets, because as I said earlier, you can always rewrite your story. So that's the other piece. And so all of that connects. And that's what I would say, because if you don't know what the hell you want, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that. And I'm with you. I've made some mistakes too. And I thank goodness that Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat weren't around when I was doing my thing. So I totally feel you on that. So one of the things that we always talk about here on our podcast is that we have mottos that we live by. And I have a motto that I live by. It's the same one. Elaine, actually, hers depends on what's happening in her life and the season, lots of different, affirmations and things like that. So my motto is, I deserve to be here. I've had a lot of hiccups. I've had some challenges, but I've had a hell of a lot of successes. And wherever I am right now in the timing is what it's supposed to be. And damn it, I deserve to be here. Before we get Elaine's today, would you mind sharing with us maybe one or two of your mottos that you live by? I know you just said no regrets, but are there any others that you live by?
I think I can share this here. Number one is, do not put your hoo-ha on the internet. That's number one for my motto. I will tell anyone. They always, I never know what podcast I can share that with. So I figured this was an appropriate one.
Absolutely.
Okay. Like if someone says,
that is great advice. That is probably the best.
What's your one piece of advice, to kids today, or to, business owners? So it's like, that's the one that just comes, and I usually don't say it, but thank you for the invite to say whatever I want. And the second one is really about being unapologetically you. If you're aligned and you really know at the core who you are and what you stand for, then just freaking like put it out there, and don't apologize for it. Just be you. That's all you can do. And of course, no regrets.
Yep. So, I have my stack. I don't know, this stack of my affirmation cards was sitting here and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just pull one out and that will be mine for the week. So
Beautiful.
here we go. I'm just gonna grab one. All right, here we go. Ooh, this is a good one. Here we go. It says, I am more than a fucking before and after photo.
Yes, I love that.
Boom.
That's beautiful. I want to pull one from my cards then. Can I pull one from my
Yes.
cards?
Yes.
Of course. Please,
Okay.
please.
All right. Okay, it's a number 8. That's the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Find your North Star.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, a lot of pieces, it's about finding your North Star, right? Like that's the message I'm getting right now. It's like, it's not anyone else's. It's what do you really want to be when you grow up? Who do you really want to be? What do you stand for? And, follow that.
Yeah,
Do that.
you are speaking my language. I'm like, my whole goal in life is to help people be their best selves, not anybody else's self, not what your mama said, what your husband said, whatever, your best self. And I'm always saying, what is it that you want to be known for?
Yeah.
And that's what you need to go after.
I think it goes really well with mine on the wall that says, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Right? Like just be you. And who are you here to help? Right? And what impact do you want to leave in the world? It cannot and should not be what anyone thinks you should do. It should be what feels genuine and authentic to you. So I vibe totally with what you're saying, because I think we get so wrapped up in what everyone else is doing. It's like, no, bitch, what do you want to do? Right? Focus on what you are good at. What is your zone of genius? And stop trying to do all the things that everyone else is doing, because it's not meant for you.
And I also think there comes a grace with accepting that it's okay if you're not everybody's cup of tea.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay.
Actually, I'm perfect with that.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, because the right people that you connect with that are in alignment with you will come.
Yep.
They will totally come, and you will be able to mutually support each other without having to feel any sort of pretense or resentment or any of that, right? People are free to be who they are and do the things that, that they do best. And I don't know, that just gave me goosebumps, but anyhow.
Love it.
So our next question that we always ask our guest is, it's about, being intentional, and how have you created a life by design and not default?
How have I not? Like, I literally feel like, I do. I don't want to sound like an asshole, so I'm going to try not to sound like an asshole.
No, you don't. I mean, you live it. It's basically what
I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like, I really don't do stuff I don't want to do. So it's not that I never do stuff I don't want to do. Like, I don't necessarily want to clean up the dog shit outside, but I'll do it. I mean, but really, I live my life by looking at things, and if they're easy, effortless, and fun, I do them. If they feel heavy in any way, I don't do them. And I'm okay with that. I wasn't always. So it took a long time. So I will say it took a long time for me to be okay and say, no. Like, no is a full sentence, right? Like, yes. So like, it took me a while. If someone said, hey, do you want to help me move this weekend? No, not really, not what I want to do. I don't want to help you move. And so I look at everything when something comes to me, and I go, what is my first inclination? Is it a yes or is it a no? And usually the first thing that happens is my intuition, right? Like the first thing that happens is, do you want this opportunity? Yes or no? And whatever comes up first, that's the answer. And then if I don't make an answer right away, then it goes into our ego, right? Like, should I do this? Well, I probably should, because this person did this for me. And I don't do that anymore. I just go with, do you want this opportunity? Is this a person you want to work with? And so I've built it that way. The other piece that I've done, which is really important, and this is what I work with my clients on, not making decisions based on money. So that's a more tangible, tactical thing. But for me, a life by design is being able to make decisions that are in the highest and best of you and your family, or something that you really, really want, and not saying no because of money. That to me is really critical, because especially when you have a family, right? Like there are so many decisions that you have to make, and like always wanting to do the best for your kids, or yourself, or whatever, and making those decisions. So that is something that I do. I do not make decisions based on money. I make decisions based on what's highest and best, what my intuition says I should do, whether it's, and like I said, whether it's a dumb decision or not, right? Like no regrets. You just go with it. And I've done some crazy stuff and it's worked out. So I don't know if that's the answer you want.
Yeah. Those are brilliantly beautiful answers.
Yes. We would expect no less. No less.
Mm-hmm.
So Barbara, tell our listeners where they can find out more about Organizational Rebel and the different programs and offerings that you have. Where can we find you?
Where can you find me? You can find me.
I know where to find you, but I mean,
I'm like all over. Organizationalrebel.com is my website. I also have growmyconsultingpractice.com. So just depends on where you want to go. I have a free webinar, scalewithbarb.com. You can message me. I'm like a real human. So like I'm on Facebook, obviously, because I am a Generation Xer, although my kids keep calling me a boomer. So I'm on Facebook. I actually am on Instagram too. Thank you.
Yes, I know.
Anywhere. And honestly, like I'm a human. So if you have a question for me, you can just ask me. Most questions I'll answer. And so easy peasy.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. And I can attest to that. She is a human, and she will help you when, you know what I mean? So I'm always,
me, whatever you want, like Google me, stalk me, LinkedIn me. I'm around. I'm a human.
Just don't send you weird pitchy messages.
Yeah, I just don't like that. Like, don't invite me to a party. Don't ask me to buy anything. Don't ask me for money. Like, if you don't know me. There's certain things, and even if you know me, like, think about it. Don't give me unsolicited advice. Like, hey, I loved your podcast. You shouldn't have said that. Like, I don't care.
It's okay.
Yeah. This has been so fun. Thank you, Ms. Barb, for coming to hang out with us.
Thank you. This is fun for me. Like, I just love that. I don't know why. Like, I'm such a big introvert, and I just absolutely love just talking and not having to prepare anything. Oh my God, so fun.
We are on the fly kind of people.
And we're good at what we do, because we, not only do we either know our guests, but we do extensive research on our guests. So it's not.
Did you Google me? Tell me the truth.
Girl, you know me.
All right, just checking.
I checked out your profiles. No. I might slide into your DMs, but for different reasons.
Anytime.
Yeah. But we just so appreciate you taking the time to spend with us and sharing your knowledge. You have so much to give, and you've given so much and made such an impact already on so many lives. We just want to say thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for being a part of my story.
Oh, thank you for including me in your story. This is getting a little sweet. You should stop now. I'm turning bright pink.
Oh. All right. Take care, everyone. And don't forget, we always want you to live a life by design and not default.
Yes. Bye, guys.